this evening. Really good to be with you and to reflect on that Wales game and England's opening 6-2 win over Iran in Group B as well. We also had Holland beat Senegal today by 2-0. Just to mention, though, it's been a busy few days at St David's RFC. In the first hour of the show, we heard about their ladies having their first game over the weekend, Fraser, and that was a big moment, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It's certainly something I wasn't sure I'd ever see in my lifetime, I'll be honest with you. But no, they've been training for a few months now, and they got up and running on Sunday for the game against the Newport High School O Boys ladies side, which came down, and they actually won it 25-20. And a lot of people at the club, a few people who go to know, maybe use it as an excuse to go down for a pint on a Sunday, but it was a very good excuse. And it was busy in there, and it was a great atmosphere. And Dale Humphrey, the coach, I know you heard from him in the first hour, done a great job that up and running, and that followed on obviously from Thursday night where the mural was unveiled. And the club was very privileged to be part of that, actually, a Principality project, which has gone on during this autumn international to install a new mural, try and bring clubs closer to the community. And there's a big turnout for that as well. And it looks great on the side there. And a big donation, actually, £5,000 from the Principality to the club as well. So, huge thank you to them. And it's a pleasure to be involved in those nights, actually. Busy few days down there.
Great stuff. Yeah, that's really good. And the first hour of Pure West Sport, if you want to listen back, it went out between 6 and 7. And we obviously broke off during the Wales game. So if you can listen to that again, it's on the website, purewestradio.com as a podcast. And that leads us nicely from St David's Ladies RFC to the autumn internationals. And we may have left this a bit late in the show, but Wales 12, Georgia 13. Gordon, are you still Pivac in?
Yeah, leave him there. He's doing a grand job.
Serious?
Yeah, I am serious. Yeah. I mean, we have this debate every autumn. There's a lot of players to and froing, coming in and out, different positions. England are going through it as well. They all are. Ireland won by a point. You've got to give these boys time. It was a disappointing performance. There's no question about that for Wales. There's no denying it. I can go back as far as 1979 when Jonathan Davis was captain and they lost in Romania. It's happened quite frequently over the decades. But I was delighted for our lad at number 8 playing, Macloed. I forgot his name, Fraser.
Macloed.
Josh.
It's
Macloed.
late, Gord. It's late.
Apologies, Josh. It was great to see him get his cap as well. He thoroughly deserved it. He's had a lot of anguish with injuries over the last few seasons. He thoroughly deserved to win that elusive cap. But there's a lot of work to be done in the Wales camp, obviously, Ben. There's no questions about that. What really annoys me, and it doesn't matter what union it is, if a team loses against a lesser team, there's a huge inquest, like the infrastructure, everything is wrong. Perhaps it is, but it's not because of that one result. It's a bit deeper than that.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Fraser, the question I think I'd ask about Pivac is, are Wales going in the right direction? Even if you take that result away, and it was disappointing, but I think I do take on board what Gordon says, actually, that you do have to view it in the round and not panic too much, because there are reasons these results happen, especially in the autumn. But the direction they're going under Pivac, with a World Cup less than a year away, does that fill you with confidence? And would you make a change?
I don't think they've been going in the right direction to Pivac for a long time, Ben. I know I said it, and then you lot pang me thinking I was being too harsh, but even you go back to that lockdown, I think that Five Nations win papered over a lot of cracks. When you look back over that, I think they benefited immensely, really, from an England side that was undercooked, and then the game against Ireland where Peter O'Mahony, the mad red card, which saved Wales a result. But when push came to shove in that Six Nations, when it came to crunch time and they needed a bit of game management to get a Grand Slam over the line in France, they completely disintegrated. You sensed no kind of leadership or system in there, and I've felt the same way ever since. I think I don't see what direction or any kind of pattern or how this Wales team's going to play. I don't know what their identity or style is. I have to be honest. You looked at Edwards and Gatland, there was actually a lot of criticism over the years. They were too rigid, but you knew the style, you knew the identity, you knew the game plan, and it was a formula that worked for them. I don't see that under Pivac, and I look at his answers, his media answers in post matches, and they're all pointing to almost blaming the regions. That's possibly coming across a little harshly, but certainly pointing out failures of the regions to get players up to scratch and so on. And at the moment, they look aimless, and I don't see any answers coming. I have to be honest with you. I'd say he's under pressure. I think, ironically, we do have a good chance to beat Australia on Saturday, regardless of the Georgia result, because they started this autumn campaign a week before everyone else in their injury ravaged. But again, I don't think that paper's over cracks.
As a former player, Fraser, what annoys me is that when things aren't going right, there seems to be nobody on that pitch that can change it or want to change it. And I find that perhaps coaching is probably being overcoached, if you know what I mean. In certain plays, they have to do this and that. But sometimes it needs a cool head to make a decision and, play what's in front of you. But it never seems to happen at international rugby or in club rugby these days.
And I will say as well, Gord, if I was to say something maybe to counter what I just said in terms of feedback, Sam Warburton spoke very well after the match, and he actually called out the governance issues, not government, that's their own problem.
It's late in the day for that phrase.
We don't need Boris in our set. Governance issues within the WRU, and obviously the vote we recently spoke about, where amateur clubs essentially held a big stake of power within a professional organisation.
Yeah.
He's absolutely right with that. But that's something which you can't necessarily pin on a coach. That's a structural system which has been built up over years. You can't blame that on Wayne Peaver. And that's something which, to be honest, will take years to undo.
It will.
But there are a lot of problems underneath the surface of Welsh rugby, which I think the national team has papered over the cracks for a long time. And maybe that's coming to
I mean, at the end of the day, the players that cross that line, they have a responsibility as well.
Sure.
At the end of the day, it's their fault that they've lost against Georgia. I'm just saying that from Saturday's game. There's things there they could have changed, but didn't, and it didn't work out. And fair play to Georgia. You've got to give them credit. They stuck to their game plan, and they got a result.
Okay, well, listen, we are going to have to leave it there, and we will be back at the normal time next week. So we'll be back 8 till 9, live on the Pure West Radio Facebook page, and 7 till 8, the first hour of the show. Well done, Wales. Thank goodness for Gareth Bale. Group B up and running. Going to be interesting. Wales around 10 o'clock Friday, England USA at 7, and then a week tomorrow it will be England against Wales, and we'll be back to talk some more about it on Pure West Sport. Thank you very much for being with us. We've got to go. It's 10 o'clock. It's bedtime. Zoe is on the way. Zoe Coleman is on the way on Pure West Radio. She's on the way after the news. Good night.
Cheers, guys.
Right. Cheers, guys.